Abeer Sweis is a Los Angeles-based architect who founded Sweis-HUM, a design construction company based out of Santa Monica, California. Her company focuses on a holistic approach to the built environment. A quote from her website states, "Our quest to create harmonious environments start by blurring the line between the indoors and outdoors." There were a few things that led me to pick Sweis as my artist to highlight. Architecture has always been something that I have enjoyed. I was never good at freehand drawing, but if you gave me a ruler or other drafting tools, I loved every minute of it. I can be a perfectionist, and the precision you see with straight lines was always intriguing to me. I am also pursuing a career as a firefighter, and Sweis designs and builds homes that tend to be fire resistant. Combining both of these interests of mine, I found Abeer Sweis. Sweis's architectural designs have a goal while she is creating them. While trying to accomplish this goal, she is trying to create spaces that are environmentally sustainable and comfortable, innovative, and timeless. But what is this bigger goal? Sweis's designs are trying to accomplish fire-resistant buildings that will last in the California wildfire season. While designing buildings, there are many things architects must consider. This isn't as simple as thinking of a building and creating it because you like the look. They have to think about where it will be built, what are the best types of materials to use, which building type classification it will be, etc. Fire resistance is defined as the property of materials that prevents or delays the passage of excessive heat and fire. Who is Abeer Sweis? Sweis is originally from Amman, Jordan. When she was 9 years old, she was driving through the countryside with her family and noticed a house that was built into the side of a hill. This building caught her eye because the natural terrain was growing over the house and all you saw was the front. She asked her father who built it, and he responded with an architect. At that young age, she looked at her parents and said, "I'm going to be an architect." At 10 years old, she moved to LA with her family and started to pursue her dream. She obtained her Bachelor of Architecture degree from Woodbury University in 1995. She was very fortunate to start her own firm after only a few short years. She then merged that company with her husband's construction company to create Sweis-HUM. Sweis has also been an instructor at many LA-based schools, most notably UCLA Extension Architecture and Interior Design since 1996. West Hollywood Hills Contemporary. This home is one that Sweis-HUM renovated. The original house was built in the 60s, and the owner knew it needed to be upgraded. Sweis and her firm were hired to bring this outdated home back to life. During the planning phase, it was discussed that this home was in a fire zone, which means there is a greater risk for a wildfire in the area. One of Sweis's goals was to create a sealed envelope for the home to help its survivability if a fire were to encroach. She describes a sealed envelope as the entire exterior of your home. To make that happen, they stripped the home down to its studs and practically started over. In building a fire-resistant home, using non-combustible, fire-resistant material is a must. In an article that focused on this house, it stated, "The home is wrapped in stucco, and its exterior features a boxy, contemporary design without vents or roofs overhangs where embers could enter or become trapped. The project is topped with a highly fire-resistant torch-down membrane roof, and its aluminum windows are fitted with glass that is tempered up to 450 degrees. The outside staircases are made of steel, the pavers and tiles are made from concrete, and the decking and trim feature a dense, naturally fire-resistant hardwood called IPE. As you can see in these pictures, this home has a defensible space around it, a tight envelope was created around the home, and nothing is attached to the home. Those are the key elements that Sweis mentioned when trying to make a house fire-resistant. This type of design would help limit the chances of fire spreading to the home, and if it did spread to the home, the material used to build does not conduct heat well, so the firefighters would have a greater chance of containing the fire before it did much damage." Mar Vista Modern. This home is another example of a renovation that Sweis-HUM completed. This design is harder to maintain a clear area around due to its location, but the building materials are again fire resistant. Most articles you will find on Sweis focus on her goal of fire resistance. She goes into great depth on each area mentioned earlier. She also strives for a design that keeps the original look and feel while making it functional in modern terms. She is a contemporary architect, which can be explained as the modern styles blending together. While looking at all the examples of Sweis's work, I can see the contemporary features. Her designs can be simple, but would also draw the eye towards it with the modern pops of color features like the door here or the sleek metal staircase on the previous example. Sweis has impacted society with her builds in many ways. She keeps an open mind, and that allows her creativity to flow and create these buildings that better the world. Why should we care about this? Why would all of this matter in architecture, design, and construction? Well, fire needs three key elements to sustain itself. Those are heat, oxygen, and fuel. To extinguish a fire, you must eliminate one of those elements from the chemical chain reaction. In a typical fire, it could be easy to cool the burning material, eliminate the heat source, or smother the fire. But for wildfires, it can be more difficult. Oxygen is limitless outside, so you cannot eliminate that. You must turn to the other two elements. As we all know, our summer months in California can be very hot, so it may not be easy to eliminate that element as well. Firefighters can try cooling the fuel, but in those hot months, it can be hard. That leaves us with the fuel. That is why it is so important to understand what types of buildings and building materials are used. If builders use fire-resistant materials like Sweis tries to incorporate into her designs, that is one less thing firefighters have to worry about. When the material doesn't conduct heat as efficiently, the fire won't spread as quickly. California fire seasons are getting worse and worse, and there is no end in sight for controlling that. The fires we are seeing nowadays used to be once-in-a-career type fires, and now they are yearly fires. There is something in firefighting that is called wildland-urban interface. That is the transition between the wilderness and city areas, ultimately where the city meets the natural environment. More and more people are deciding to build in the wildland-urban interface, which is increasing the dangers of fires. Defensible space is very important in areas like this and can be the determining factor of your house surviving a wildfire. I learned that you can be creative and use your imagination, but still create something beneficial to this world. Sweis's life has led her to create houses that are sustainable in unimaginable conditions. I love how she can display her art in these buildings she creates, but also know that she is helping the environment. Homes are becoming more green, as firefighters call it. They have ecosystems on the roof, solar panels, and other ways to be self-sustaining. Those features can hinder firefighting operations, but they can also help prevent fires in the first place. Sweis's design company is one of Santa Monica's certified green businesses. I can only hope that as I advance in my firefighting career, that I can see more artists that design, imagine, and create these masterpieces that can help prevent the horrific disasters that can ruin a person's life, or worse, take their life. I also learned to never give up on your dream. Sweis knew at a young age what she wanted to do. Her parents could have told her she was silly for picking a career so young and that it probably wouldn't happen, but look at everything she has created simply by seeing a house and setting a goal. She was driven at 9 years old to make it a possibility, and now she gets to live out a dream career using her imagination and skills to create a living oasis for her clients. I can't wait to see where her determination takes her next. I am left with a single question. How can we continue to improve on fire-resistant buildings? This subject has come a long way since the beginning of times of fires destroying buildings and lives. Unfortunately, it takes disasters to implement change, but there have been a lot of improvements to get us where we are now. We can educate people on making their homes more fire-resistant and continue to improve on and making more fire-resistant materials to use in our construction. Having individuals like Abeer Sweis in the field can only improve our chances of having a more survivable wildland-urban interface.